All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump to the video immediately. This one sounds mighty interesting. Let's do it, guys.
From Charlie Kirk's killing has spread to the workplace. People are getting fired for comments that seem to celebrate or glorify the assassination of the MAGA activist and father of two young children. These companies and organizations have reported either terminating or suspending employees.
Okay, I'm surprised at MSNBC. Truthfully, I'm definitely absolutely surprised that CNN is covering this story and posting it. Delta, I'm not that surprised, guys. I live kind of in the Atlanta area, so like I hear the Delta thing happening for the last day or so. A lot of people are getting fired, and rightly so. Like, listen, guys, if you are sitting here celebrating someone's demise, then I don't really see why you should kind of be working with the public, because obviously it tells me that you're so politically enthralled, let's say, that you refuse to. That how could you do your job, basically? Like, how could you do your job with people of all different types of thought processes, ideologies, genders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Imagine for a second. Now, I've also been seeing a lot of teachers are getting kicked out. And that's interesting, right? Because all of the time that people have been complaining about how like all these elementary schools, high schools, and colleges are, then them saying we're not any of these things, and then all of a sudden all of these teachers are getting fired. That's mighty interesting, right? And you want us to continue to believe that you're not just there to basically indoctrinate our children to your methodology? All right.
Employees for posts about Kirk, and that includes Middle Tennessee State University firing a worker they say had, quote, zero empathy for Kirk's death. Okay. Conservative activists, Republican lawmakers, and even a doxing website are flagging the comments in what critics say is a campaign to punish those posters. Let's bring in Jessica Kriegel, the Chief Strategy Officer of Culture Partners. Jessica, thanks so much for being here with us. Look, there is, of course, the First Amendment and freedom to speech in this country, but there's also private companies who hire people, and it would seem to me if it's a private company, they get to decide who they want to hire and fire.
They sure do.
What do you think?
Absolutely. They don't need a reason to fire you if you're an at-will employee, which most workers in the U.S. are at-will contracts. So they can fire you because you wore green instead of blue one day. It doesn't matter. Really, what the leader's job at these private employers is to identify the workers who are aligned with the culture that they're trying to cultivate, the strategy that they have to achieve their results towards their purpose. So with American Airlines, for example, they said that the person was suspended because it didn't align with their purpose, which is to care for people on life's journeys. That's a perfectly legitimate and actually best practice for how you make decisions around hiring and firing.
And what about a public sector worker? Are standards different there?
Yeah, certainly. So with the government, it's a little bit different, right? And so what they do with the government, there is the Pickering balancing test, which looks essentially back from a 1968 Supreme Court case, which asked the question, does this worker's freedom of speech disrupt the government agency's ability to perform its work? And if it does, such as, for example, creating disharmony in the workplace, then that freedom of speech isn't necessarily protected. And so there is different standards, there's a higher bar. However, there still is the ability to, if someone is, for example, inciting violence, that is not protected speech, even for a government worker.
And so how do you think, I mean, you've outlined all of this well, but look, in the world of social media, where somebody can write something and it lives there for a while, or anybody can find anything, how do you think companies are navigating this? How should they be navigating this?
Exactly how they're doing it.
The great leaders are pausing. There is public pressure sometimes to act quickly, and then we get spun into this endless activity trap of trying to react, and we call that the action trap. But great CEOs are taking a moment, they're pausing, they're looking at what experience do I want to create for the workers who are employed here? What beliefs do I want them to hold about me as an employee, myself, the CEO? What do I want them to hold? What beliefs do I want them to hold about the company? And then they're making decisions accordingly. A lot of the CEOs are getting headlines right now because they're firing or suspending people, but there are probably 10 times as many CEOs who are having conversations with employees. They've seen something, They call the person up, they have a
Uh-huh.
conversation, what's going on, and then they're
Right.
acting appropriately after having more understanding.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So basically, no repercussions, right? Um, as expected, coming from the left, no accountability. Ew, accountability. Well, how dare you say that because I've done something, I need to be basically held accountable for it. That's kind of the vibe I got from that whole conversation there. I'm also not surprised, right? But um, I'm only surprised with the fact that they're actually posting this, right? They actually did this. They made a segment kind of regarding this overall topic. Guys, this is not okay. I don't care, bro. Um, if you sit here and celebrate someone's demise and you expect to then work with the public tomorrow, bro, like yeah, like imagine the workplace, okay, that fostered this type of environment, right? Like understand this here. Most adults have no friends. Let's just start right there. Right. Most adults have no friends. The people that they encounter on a regular basis are generally their coworkers, right? So if they're sharing all of these type of thought processes, I can only imagine the type of conversations that are being had in the break room with people, guys. I mean, and then you go out and work with the public. How am I supposed to believe or perceive that you have the ability to kind of separate your politics if you like separate your politics or ideology from your work, specifically if you're working in a public? Okay, it's incredibly important that we no longer kind of allow that type of thing to happen, guys. Right now, understand this here. I'm not for the concept of like canceling people, right? But this is so egregious. I think this is not even in the realm of canceling, guys. Personally, like I'm really not for like just canceling people, but I do think that if you are saying things that specifically have the ability to kind of interfere or inhibit you from working in like a successful, healthy, fruitful manner, then I'm not sure you should be in any type of position dealing with the public, guys. Again, that's just my. I think that's my stance on that one there, and I stick to that one wholeheartedly here, guys. I am not surprised with these companies, guys. I'm not surprised because some of these companies that I notice here are also the same companies that as soon as Trump got into office, they immediately dropped all DEI anything. All right, just understand what's going on here, guys. They're not interested in the nonsense anymore, bro. They're not. They're not interested in fostering workers or work environment that is just generally going to be hostile. Like, listen, I would definitely wish we can kind of go back to like the 90s and early 2000s where, regardless of your political affiliation, you had the ability to sit down and have conversations with people, guys. I think one party specifically went so far kind of off the rails, let's say, that it's really hard for some people at least, outside of big cities, to even care about their problems, bro. Truth be told here. When you start forcing things down people's throats, people start to lose interest in what you're saying, guys. But all right, my opinion, obviously. Listen, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.